On August 11th, Ford Motor Company held a press conference that they called a Model T moment. Now, those of you automotive history buffs out there know that that's a really bold statement to make, especially since the announcement was about their all-new electric pickup truck sitting on a universal platform that, get this, cost just $30,000. What is up, YouTube land? My name is Matt McAdam, your host of Chasing Dust only on Driving Line. And today we're breaking down Ford's recent announcement about their new EV platform and the claims that they make about how it will revolutionize the way that they build vehicles. So like most of my other videos, I wanted to add some fun B-roll and show you guys visually everything I'm talking about, but this video is going to be a little bit different. Ford basically made this announcement without showing us a concept, without giving us even a peek, and heck, they didn't even tell us what they're calling this new thing. So I just wanted to apologize in advance if it sounds more like a podcast than a YouTube episode, but if you have a complaint, you can go ahead and just mail that to Dearborn, Michigan. Now, as you guys know, I'm a big fan of Ford vehicles, always have been, and I've even owned a Mach E GT, which was featured on this channel just a few years ago. So I have some skin in this game, and I'm curious to know how the market actually reacts to these new cheaper electric vehicles they're planning to build. But I would argue that if you love cars and trucks and you like to stay informed about what these different manufacturers are doing, you'll want to know all about this new platform too. Okay, so just diving in. On August 11th, Ford unveiled a brand new way to build EVs from the factory, calling it a Model T moment, as I mentioned in the teaser. Now, this obviously alludes to Henry Ford's development of the assembly line to produce the Ford Model T over 100 years ago, and he had a vision to make automobiles affordable for everyday Americans of that time. So this isn't necessarily a new vehicle announcement. It's actually a lot bigger than that. It's an entire new process that they're unveiling that will allow them to manufacture electric cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks in a much more efficient and economic manner. And we're going to talk more about that platform in a minute. But the first vehicle they're going to be building and selling will indeed be a midsize pickup truck that will be assembled at their plant in Louisville, Kentucky. Ford also hinted that they do plan to develop other body styles like SUVs and maybe even sedans later on down the road. Ford CEO Jim Farley said this new truck will have, quote, impressive range and have as much room inside as a Toyota RAV4, and it will be able to power your home during a blackout for up to 6 days. He also said that it will have a usable bed, and it will have a frunk up front, and it's supposed to be faster than an EcoBoost Mustang. Now, I'm no expert on EcoBoost Mustangs, but I'm not sure that's the benchmark that I would have used for an electric vehicle's performance. He also mentioned that the overall size of the midsize pickup truck will be closer to a Maverick than a Ranger, so I wouldn't expect anything huge here. But as far as the heart of this new truck, Ford is developing a new 400-volt LFP battery, which is supposedly 33% smaller than today's batteries. But the kicker here is that it's supposed to deliver equivalent range to today's expectations. I guess we'll find out more about that and how quickly we can actually charge it once it's here. But the big headline here for this new midsize EV truck is its cost to the consumer. Jim Farley is claiming that this new truck will start at just $30,000, making it a highly affordable electric vehicle with Ford's name on it. As of right now, they're slating manufacturing for 2027, so we probably won't see these trucks until closer to 2028. But you guys got to keep in mind, the announcement of this new truck was only a small portion of the entire press event that they threw. Ford actually spent the bulk of the event unveiling and describing their new manufacturing process for this truck, calling it a Model T moment. And if you know anything about the word universal in car speak, it just means one chassis with many bodies. This platform sharing approach is nothing new, but the way that Ford plans to build them is what they claim will cut their costs by such a significant margin. Up until this point, Ford's EV offerings have just been the Ford Lightning, the Mustang Mach E, and their new E-Transit. I personally loved my Mach E GT. It was comfortable, it was full of tech features, and faster than a Coyote-powered Mustang GT on the drag strip, believe it or not. But none of their current EV offerings even come close to being called affordable cars. And that's mostly because it costs Ford a ton to build them. Furthermore, in August of 2023, Jim Farley himself took a road trip from Palo Alto, California to Las Vegas, Nevada in a Ford F-150 Lightning just to gather some more firsthand insight of the experience. And it didn't go so well for him. He actually called the experience a reality check after facing charging issues, range anxiety, and other issues that consumers face when road tripping in one of their EVs. So the point is here that Ford is paying attention. They want people to be happy with their EV purchase, and they want to make them affordable to most consumers. So that's really the heart and soul of this announcement. So what exactly is this new architecture and manufacturing process, you may ask? Well, they couldn't show us because it's not built yet. But the basic idea is this. These new EVs will be built in just 3 main segments or modules. At its core, they will have a front module, a rear module, and a center module, utilizing large castings or unicastings as they've trademarked them. The center casting will contain the battery, which is actually a structural part of the car, as the floor of the vehicle is actually the top of the battery pack. And again, Ford didn't show us what comes as part of these 3 modules, but I can just guess the front end is going to have the frunk, the steering, suspension, brakes, everything all put together, ready to go. The rear will have the drive motor, the suspension, the brakes all assembled again. And of course, this intersection with the battery pack, the seats, the dash, instrument cluster, all the other interior portions all pre-assembled. Ford didn't go into how these modules would all come together, nor did they really say how the body is going to be mounted onto the platform. Instead, however, they did make some pretty impressive claims about this new EV platform. It'll have 20% fewer parts, 2/3 of the welds are completely eliminated, which is pretty huge. It'll use half of the fasteners as a normal car. It'll have 4,000 fewer feet of wiring than a Mach E. And it'll be assembled 40% faster than their current vehicles. Jim Farley made it clear that all of these efforts were to reduce their costs and pass those savings on to the consumer, stating that automakers in China are already hard at work producing affordable EVs, so the American auto giant should be leading the forefront here at home. Now, if you ask me, a lot of what Ford is doing here is similar to what Elon has been doing over at Tesla, and they seem to be a bigger threat in my eyes than these Chinese automakers, but Jim made no mention of the competing American EV brand. So here's why I think this EV platform might actually do well in today's market. First, and most obviously, the window sticker won't turn people away at just $30,000. Secondly, you don't have to be an early adopter to live with it. It's based on mostly proven EV tech with a twist on just how it all goes together. Third, it opens the door to a host of different variations like SUVs, sedans, and even has a layup opportunity to let consumers customize to their heart's desire, just like the Slate EV truck we talked about just a few episodes ago. And lastly, it's an American-built car with a service network that actually exists if anything went wrong. And that's huge peace of mind over these cheap Chinese EVs. So I, for one, am actually stoked on a Ford EV plan that leads with cost in mind. I think if nothing else, it just shows that Ford is very okay with going back to the drawing board on major segments of the market. And unlike most manufacturers who just have their eyes on profits over the next few quarters, Ford is continuing to innovate with the next several decades in mind. But I'm curious what you guys think. Would you buy a $30,000 electric pickup with a Ford badge on it? Do you think that the heart and soul of American truck owners actually want this? Or if perhaps maybe business owners with fleet vehicles could benefit from a whole fleet of these trucks? Make sure you drop me a comment below. And while you're there, be sure to subscribe to Driving Line so that you never miss an episode of Chasing Dust. But that's going to do it for today's show, you guys. I'm sorry I couldn't show you all the B-roll that I wanted to, but as soon as this stuff comes out, I'm going to be doing another episode to follow up on this. Thank you guys so much for following along as always. And once again, you guys, my name is Matt McAdam, your host of Chasing Dust. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hey guys, thanks for watching. This is Matt from Chasing Dust. Be sure to hit that subscribe button because Driving Line's creating all kinds of awesome content for gearheads just like you. I'll see you guys out there.